I would like to thank me for getting Jensen out not once, but now twice. And I would like to thank me for saving my game in this house. Thank you, Tara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tara. And thank you for joining us this evening on a very special Week 9 Monday episode of Big Brother Canada 9. It is Monday, April 26, 2021. We just finished the 24th episode of Big Brother Canada 9. And as mentioned, this is the buyback in HOH. No nominations. Normally, this would be a night where we'd be also discussing who's on the block, but we don't know. So we're going to jump into all of that. There was a lot of time spent on a buyback, a little bit of a different kind of a beginning week episode as we head into the home stretch here. I'm Dave Mader, coming here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, joined with Jaemeel Robinson. Jaemeel, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I had a full weekend of feeds. Oh, wait, I didn't. So thank you, Arissa. Thank you, Big Brother Canada, for not giving me what I've been looking forward to on one of the most interesting weeks of the Big Brother season. Let's just not show any of it and then probably just show about 10 minutes, basically, of stuff that would be covered that wasn't shown on television. 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes.
Right. Very controversial, too. The live feeds have been down since Thursday. We saw mostly Arissa's segments in this episode tonight where she was wearing what she was wearing on Thursday. So it was mostly pre-taped, it seems like. I don't know what the reasoning, if that had anything to do with it. Was it Arissa's schedule, or was that just, hey, Arissa, we can just film this all now, and then you can get out of here. You don't even need to come in on Monday. Fair enough. I don't know.
They want a vacation. They want the weekend off.
Hey, you got a long weekend, Arissa. You're entitled,
I guess.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about this. There's a lot to break down here, though, because we had to wait these 4 days to get to here, and it was all about this fake HOH. The fake HOH. It was the headline of the hour, but it wasn't really fake. It was just kind of there was a buyback built in right after this second double eviction. So it was sort of a tempered double eviction.
Exactly. It was not a fake HOH. It was a useless HOH because you basically lost a week, right? As we will discuss in today's episode, you saw the ramifications of this, and really only two things happened overall. And I'll break down those two when we get to it.
Well, yeah, there's the whole fakeness, but it was kind of like Jensen versus Tara was the cliffhanger we were left with in the last episode, in episode 23. And we come in here, and the house guests, I just was coming into tonight thinking, okay, Jensen's got to be the favorite to win this thing. It's got to be Jensen. I'm not looking forward to him coming back in not because I don't like him so much, but because I don't like Beth. And
any moment of happiness you can take away from her is enjoyable to you?
I think so. Or her joy brings me misery, perhaps, at this part of the game. So that was kind of bumming me out. But the four that were left in there after Tara went out, with Brayden, Beth, Tashawn, and Kiefer, they thought they were the final four, and they were talking. They were having a lot of talks and a lot of conversations about everything. Yeah.
Final four. Woo!
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Beth was very jazzed about that. And we saw that there was just the different aspects of like how Tara and Jensen were up in the HOH room, but they didn't know that, and they could hear them celebrating down below and being loud and whatever, rowdy and whatever. And then we got a lot of other clips up from the double eviction, the fake double eviction, or the two part of the second part of the double eviction from Thursday. We saw like Tashawn and Brayden talking after Brayden had won the veto, and Tashawn's saying, "Don't use it. Let's get out Tara. Let's just do that." We saw Tara and Beth talking out in the living room because they were the nominees at that point, and some of the information that Beth and Tara was giving Beth a lot of information here, right? And if Tara had not been the one to come back in, it would have been interesting to see what Beth maybe could have done with that information and what Jedson and Beth would have done with the combined amount of information they got from Tara on her way out. But that's not what happened. Yeah, and then Kiefer would saying he would prefer to get Beth out, but he wasn't going to push it too much. He didn't want to ruffle feathers with Deshaun. Jeez. I don't know. You're at Final Four here. I don't know if it's okay to ruffle feathers.
You do what you need to do.
He was like, "Hey, I don't care either way. It's as long as it's not me, I don't care." So do you guys want? That's who you want to vote out. Let's just do that. And I don't know. There was just a lot of Braden saying he wanted to sit next to Tashawn at the end. Jedson and Tara, she was giving him information. We kind of covered all this. Oh, and then here's my first clip of the night. Tashawn was very irritated in this turn of events.
Oh, I'm so irritated.
He describes it very eloquently.
I'm so irritated. They had this competition, the heads will roll, which was really just softball up a ramp.
Yep. Keep 3 up there, basically.
Yeah, it was interesting. I guess this was like also kind of gender neutral, right? Because it didn't really matter who. Or I guess if you're athletic, it'd be better.
I found it was boring for such an
important competition.
Like really, this is what we do.
This was David versus Goliath.
This is David versus Goliath.
Yes, and they fought in a thumb war. Congratulations. It was boring. I don't care what anyone says. Like, okay, even prior to getting to this, Tara did so much work for Kiefer in the jury house. It's ridiculous. She basically, the only information she really gave Jed was like, it was Kiefer's plan all along. He was the mastermind. And I'm like, this man better be going back in the house, because if he's going to the jury, like, I think they're going to just start inscribing the trophy to Kiefer right now, because all they're getting is information that Kiefer is just a brilliant mastermind. And I'm like, this isn't necessarily the case. Like, yes, it was his plan, but there was a lot of moving pieces involved and people had to play their part. And for her to only give that bit of information, like, I think it was giving way too much credit. And like, is that really motivating him, Jedson, to do dirty work when he gets back? It kind of means like, oh, well, Beth was being somewhat honest with me, and Beth should, I should team up with Beth to get Kiefer out. Or like, where is the movement pushing people forward to attack them? She should have like left it on everyone knew what was going on. Everyone was coming after you. You're on your own. But at the most part, you can trust Beth a little bit to just start getting the ball movement. Like this, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if she was thinking straight, but like, if it's not you, you won't need to weaponize Jed if you're really that angry. Otherwise, don't act like you're like pissed off.
Yeah, Tara was just like so emotional in this second part of this double eviction, and her exit out, and then she was with Jedson, and then she was feeling compelled to like, I'm just gonna tell you everything, and I'm so upset. So this is where Tara's not such a great player, and she but who can blame her? It's a rough moment for anybody, no matter who you are, and so she was consoling in him. And but then she was hoping that they could this could be a bonding moment between them, that maybe they could go together throughout the rest of the game. Obviously that couldn't happen, so instead they have to go head to head here. And this competition was kind of boring in retrospect. Like, it's very forgettable. Because I was so invested in who won, because I wanted Tara to win. I was very much a Tara rooter, that so I was kind of going back and forth. It could have been anything, it wouldn't have mattered. It was more the outcome that mattered.
If it was a thumb war, you'd have been like, oh, a thumb
Yeah, could have been whatever. If they were, you could whatever insert here, whatever ridiculous thing. This was fine because and then they knocked off the balls, and then the balls were back up, and they had to get the 3 balls up on a ledge. That's all this was. Get 3 balls up on a ledge, and eventually, Tara knocked hers off, but then Tara wins this thing. You know,
She does.
I survive.
she survives.
Jed the comp beast fails to win again. Sad face.
Oh, sad face for Jedson.
I know I can do this. I came here to win comps, and that's what I'm gonna do.
And then he didn't.
He had his, he had his moments.
Yeah, he had his moment, and now other people are having their moment. So moving forward.
And I already played it at the top of the show, but why not again?
And who got me there? Me. I would like to thank me for all my hard work. I would like to thank me for getting Jensen out not once, but now twice. And I would like to thank me for saving my game in this house. Thank you, Tara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Tara.
I am eternally grateful that Jedson is out, because the idea of him coming back in here and reuniting with Beth was not appetizing to me at all. Even though it would have been another rain kiss, perhaps, as it's supposed to rain the rest of this week.
Barf.
Barf indeed. Why didn't I pull that clip? Yeah, I want to barf. Jedson's goodbye speech after this was a little bit blah.
But that's Jedson in general. Like, at that point, I'm like, dude, I want you gone. I'm sorry. Thank you for your service for playing Big Brother, but you're a guest star. You're not a lead. I'm sorry. Recurring character at best.
Right. We're gonna have to update the pool or the draft with the fact that Tara has come back in. So I have both my players back in this though.
Welcome
Jane
back.
Has lost Jedson. She only has Kiefer now. She only has the Grim Kiefer.
The Grim Reaper, baby. Let's go.
And they were so convinced it was going to be Jedson, and then it's Tara.
Which is dumb. It's dumb. Like,
I don't know, like this Kiefer sometimes though, the way, like, what he respects and what he doesn't respect. But there was a couple of moments tonight where afterwards, she's saying it was the tallest guy versus the shortest guy, or who was, somebody was saying that quite a bit. Was it Tashawn? Tashawn was saying Beth took exception to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't like the David versus Goliath. She didn't like the idea of her Goliath being beaten by a David, and David being a Tara.
If we're talking David versus Goliath in terms of Survivor, would Jed be a Goliath?
Jed would be a Goliath.
Would Tara be a David?
Tara's a David.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's just from her height. I think that's what she looks at herself as, a David.
Okay. Okay.
Beth is a Goliath.
Oh.
Tashawn is a Goliath.
What would the Grim Kiefer?
Kiefer's a Goliath, I think.
Kiefer is a Goliath who thinks he's a David who thinks he's a Goliath.
He's a wannabe Goliath.
He's like, let's go. Hanging out at the Goliath's table, and they're like, who's this dude? And it's like, oh, it's just my little brother.
Yeah. They weren't that afraid. They weren't that afraid of the idea of Tara coming back in here versus the idea of Jedson coming back in here, right? So that kind of shows you.
But regardless, I think either one of them, unless it's a physical competition, I'm not necessarily fearing either of them.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter either way. Like, they have an equal chance of winning if they come back in. Let's just say that, right?
Okay, sure.
Compared to anybody else, they have a 1 in 4 shot of winning this next HOH. And
now, see, I would have felt different if certain parties didn't win, because then I would be like, no, it isn't a fair split because some people are awful in this game, in terms of like any type of competition, where mentally or even physically, and therefore I don't feel it's balanced in terms of chances.
Yeah. In terms of chances.
Yeah, like you're saying that like everyone has a chance to win. But I felt like um, prior to who won, I felt that more had a better chance than others. It wasn't like an equal percentage.
Okay. Some are favored more than others.
Yes.
Sure. And some, people go have their ebbs and their flows, and it's
Come,
ups and downs.
come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. If I if I told you who's gonna win, it would take you about 4 guesses before you got to who won. I'm pretty sure.
HOH! What a great feeling.
Like, come on. If someone told me it's like $5 down, who's HOH? He would have been my fifth person picked.
Well, he is.
HOH! What a great feeling.
Okay, before we get to the HOH itself,
Yes.
though, let's just talk about Tara's return into the house and into the game, and how they react to it, and different obviously Deshaun, understandably is irritated by this.
Oh, I'm so irritated.
He's not happy. He conveys that in some conversations with Beth, but mostly they're I think that in general they're happier that it was Tara instead of Jedson who came back in. They were not necessarily looking forward to seeing Jedson again right after all that. And so there was just like how Tara is going to play this. Does Tara have a chance to win this?
To win the game?
Yeah.
Yes. And like, okay, this is where I agree that depending on scenarios, everyone has a chance to win. Depending on scenarios. If certain people make it to the end with certain people, then I think it levels off in their favor. So what is the right combination? That's anyone's guess. Some I feel are more obvious than others. But at the end of the day, yes, to answer your question, yes, she can win. There's a path for her.
Okay. But it's tougher, right? I think
Yes.
you have a tougher case to make, because you would say, well, you were voted out, and yes, you got to the end. I think if you get voted out, I think there will always be a stigma of, rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly, but that's often been the mentality in past Big Brother juries.
I have to disagree with this cast or crew. They're gonna be like, you got voted out, you came back. Oh my gosh, that's the most awesome move ever. It's like, well, it wasn't really a move. It was me getting voted out, like you all did, and I just got an extra chance to be able to come back in. I got an extra life.
You got to vote. You got voted out at the right time. Is the only thing that really happened here. Because you didn't get the vote. Tina didn't get this comeback, this revolving door, because she got voted at the wrong time.
I agree.
So it's so random where they chose to do this this particular twist, but it is what it is, and so okay. Tara, do you think Tara will just not have to stick with Kiefer as her main ally here?
Tara, if she's smart, will do whatever she needs to do to get as far as she can get in this game. So if that means that she can hitch her wagon to Kiefer for a little bit, sure, do it. Do what you need to do. If it means like throwing under the bus, jumping in the bus, running over the man, stopping, reversing, and then running over him again, do what you need to do. So whatever path like allows or opens up to her, she needs to take it, because everyone's on their last life, but she needs to kind of cement her place, right? Because anyone who's going to turn around, anyone who's voted off could say, if I had one more shot, I would have won, right?
Yeah.
Victoria could have went on a return streak. Jed could have came back.
I think it works more to the advantage of Tara than it does to Jedson, the fact that she earned her way back in. But I think that, and you might be right, that this cast might respect this idea of fighting your way back in. I think especially Tara beating Jedson
This is David versus Goliath.
Right. So she has that underdog story. She came right back in. If she can survive this week, and she gets down to the final four, I think that the jury will look at her seriously. Depending on who's still there. However, I feel like, yeah, you're right. It's almost anybody's game at this point, because I feel like maybe not Beth so much. We're gonna see, what her thing was, but this HOH comp. Let's get into it. I don't even want to talk about Beth crying and being mopey. It's whatever.
No, what about the fake one where they're like, they're all fake? I can't do it. I can't be fake. And
Okay,
I'm like,
don't. It's okay, Beth. Don't.
I'm
You
like,
don't have to do it.
You have been like so fake. Like, I don't understand this whole. You know what? I have two problems. I went too far to reference this. When Tara was with Jed and she's explaining the situation, she's like, they're evil. No, they're not. They're playing a game. They're not evil. You got, right? So don't be sour that you lost. Oh, people are lying. It's Big Brother. People lie. They're swearing on their family. It's Big Brother. They swear on their family. They're swearing anything. You got manipulated, you got tricked, and you lost, right? Oh, it isn't fair that this situation is happening. I'm sorry. It's Big Brother. That's how it goes, right? You put your hand in a bag and you take out the choice, and that's the situation, the hand you were dealt. Big Brother is not fair. If anyone thinks that Big Brother is supposed to be fair, it isn't. It is a game of chance with some moments that you're able to control your own destiny. In this case, Tara wasn't able to, right? The only thing she could have done was not win HOH the previous week or win the veto. I'm sorry, it played this way, you lost. And luckily, that same hand that smited you and was involved in you getting out of the game is the same hand that gave you another chance. So don't turn around and start pointing fingers and saying people are evil and this and that. Like, no. I hate that. Same thing with Beth's speech. She lied about swore on her family and stuff. It's like, come on, man. Like, we're all adults here. And like, it's like, I'm not your friend anymore kind of BS. I'm very angry, and I feel very particular about it. See, Big Brother, if you don't give me my feeds over the weekend, I get grouchy. And this is me
it's
getting
all
grouchy.
pent up. You got to let it out. You got to release, man. It's okay. It's
Sorry, Dave. Continue, please.
There's a lot happening here, There's this whole thing where they shut us out for days, and then we're back in, and we don't know what to make of it. We have this new final five, which is actually the same final five we had before Tara's eviction, except now it's a new HOH. And that was the whole thing. It was like, it wasn't a fake double eviction, because Tashawn couldn't play in this HOH.
Correct. So where's his letter? Where's his basket? Where's his? He should get Wendy's. Right?
You should at least get Wendy's. Get that man a Baconator.
Junior bacon cheeseburger for a junior kind of gal.
Well, or yeah, break Tara. Get her a junior bacon cheeseburger.
Yes. Once again, the same hand that gives you a bad hand, right, or gives you like a fortunate situation, can also smite you. That is Big Brother. It is not fair. It is not a fair game, right?
It's not fair. No,
correct.
You might get winning. This is as much about luck as it is about sort of how much you are able to steer it. Now, if you can win competitions and things, you will do better.
Yeah,
but sure.
But Braden has shown you don't necessarily have to win competitions to
get far.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
This competition tonight. What did you think of it? It was called All In to Win. But it was kind of a Wheel of Fortune. It was kind of roulette. It was kind of a Vegas theme. I thought the costumes that they gave the house guests to wear were interesting.
Yes, but where was the production value? This is the type of thing where you would like. I felt that when they were asking what particular day this happened, they showed a short clip. I thought it could have been presented a little bit better. The cards are hard to read on television. It was hard to read. I was like, is that an A or a B? Right? I felt like it should have been a little bit more expressed in the
Why
card.
why couldn't they do that? Like because they wanted to have this theme with the game and the cards, but like I they usually have that like that tourney thing with the A and the B, right?
Yeah.
You know, they can't dust those off and bring them out for this competition. It's just probably more effective for the television value.
And yeah, Kiefer was not going to win because people have stated that Kiefer is actually when choosing or trying to remembering his days, he has his days one day off. He's usually always one day off with a lot of his choices. So
Yeah.
when is
Let
your
me say
Saturday?
something too about Kiefer. He says he likes to gamble. He was very excited about this competition and in this gambling theme. However, I think he should stop his competition. How he did in this competition was very bad. And if these were real dollars he was betting with, he would not have done well this night.
If I was anyone, I'll be like, hey, after this game, we should play a poker game on whoever wins, and you know, their winning should be involved in the pot. See if they can convince whoever wins, may it be Kiefer or whomever. I just wanted a little bit more. This was such an important age, especially after like that challenge. I'm kind of glad that it was a lot closer than it was, but that honestly should have been
Okay.
sorry. That should have been a Durance competition, I think. Should have been
Well,
endurance
this is a competition they would normally do for time. They would do like a live. This is like more like a live show kind of an HOH competition because you can do it at a pretty short amount of time. However, they didn't have that time constraint here, but they still did it. So fair enough. And I thought Braden's strategy in this competition was interesting. So he was making smaller bets. I'll bet 3 at a time, and he was doing pretty well. He was getting most of them right. Versus Beth's strategy, which was more about making bigger bets. And then she went all in at the right time. She got the right answer, and she tied him. She tied Braden exactly. This was a pretty, and if she had won this, it would have been a different kind of a week. Probably this week, Jaemeel.
Yes, it would have been one that I would try to avoid as much as possible.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it was.
I can't help it. I can't at this point. I can't hide it. I can't hide how I feel about certain people.
No, it's okay. It's she can take it.
You seem off today.
But let me just say, this whole thing with Braden and Beth was a great dramatic moment here. And then they had to come down to this tiebreaker. It was about how many apples were in that apple competition way back when. And Braden was there with his chalkboard doing a little bit of math in the corner. And I guess like 70. I took it, looked at it quickly. There was 5 platforms. I was like, I don't know. There's like probably like 13 apples on each. So there's probably like something like 70 apples or something like that. Nope. It ended up being 122.
Okay.
And Beth guessed 115.
No, I thought it was 112
or 112 or something like that. She was not off. She was not off. She was off by about 10, right?
Yep.
Under. Braden got it exactly to the number. He knew he got 122 apples.
He's not an airhead.
No, this was incredible.
HOH! What a great feeling.
He did. How did he do this? Is this just a fluke? Is he some kind of Apple savant?
No. Kiefer has his dates wrong. That's 1. 2, he just employed a decent strategy. Like Tara's strategy where it's like, if I don't bet, I can't lose. Right? When she only has 3 left. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, Tara's betting strategy was about as good as Kiefer's was, which was not good at all.
Kiefer, I think, did better than her in the end. I think he ended up with like 10.
Yeah, but it was not a great showing for him.
Correct.
I liked Braden's strategy. Braden had the most methodical strategy. Beth's was kind of lucky. She kind of got lucky at the right time. So, but hey, good for Braden. He earned this, and he's maybe changed the course of his game here again. You know, which player in Big Brother Canada 9 has had a more up and down season than Braden?
Now you're putting me on the spot now.
I don't think there is one. I think that he's. I think I don't know. He's an interesting player. You know, we saw earlier in the show that Tashawn was speaking with him and was like, I can tell Braden likes me. I like to work this. I know if he becomes HOH, I don't want him to target me. So maybe shows that Braden is not as aware of a player or is being manipulated a bit, and showing that Tashawn maybe has the long game in mind here. But it's gonna. I think it's potentially going to work out for Tashawn this week, which makes me happy. Who will Braden? Who of the people who are available? Who is his main target? Is it just Tara?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay. You can't answer that because it would be a spoiler.
I think that I'm too biased to be able to answer that question, and with the knowledge I know, supposedly.
Okay. Well, hey,
who do you think?
Well, if I had my druthers, I'd want Braden to seriously consider looking at Kiefer.
Okay.
As a target, but I don't think he will. I think he'll potentially look at Tara or Beth. Beth is probably the best option for everybody. Because I think Beth going any further is not necessarily a great thing. I think she's just too, as the numbers continue to dwindle, her one vote becomes more and more significant and what she may choose to do. And she's not a player you can control, really.
Yeah, I can see that. And I don't like the idea of her getting near the end. Everyone else is, I think, a lot of them are in the Venn diagram. They kind of overlap a lot, where Beth is, I feel, a little bit more on her own. So I think she stands out more if she stays in the game with a lot of these people, these individuals, especially once Ty is out.
Ty will never be out. Ty's winning this whole game. Watch out. He's coming
but
for it.
Like, I just feel like if she stays and she's the lone ice sauce, right, that's left, and let's say Keith is gone too, then that's a strong case against the individuals we have involved. I don't know.
Okay, let's say it's Beth and Tara at the end. Who wins? Beth could win, but
bores me.
Yeah,
I'm like Pavlov's dog. You ring the bell, Beth, and I just start yawning.
But I think that's interesting that that Beth, her best chance to win would be with Tara. However, she hates Tara, and she will never work with Tara.
That's how it goes sometimes.
That's how it goes, But it's not like you're trying to win $100,000, Beth. Jedson was trying to win it. You wanted to help Jedson win it, but that's not going to happen now.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's all going to be also about who wins the veto. So,
let me ask you a question quickly before you get into that. Do you feel kind of unsatisfied by this episode? Like, if we're going to cut off feeds all this time, there should be an extra half an hour for me to get more details and also to get my nomination ceremony, because I personally feel very unsatisfied with what happened. And I was like, are they going to do ceremonies in 5 minutes? It seemed unfair. I feel days behind.
Yeah. Right.
Like, we should have another episode in between the veto. Otherwise, it's just going to be nominations going into 5 minutes of dialogue into a sponsorship situation, into okay, here are the nominations, right? It just seems like it's going to be here are the nominations. then here's the veto competition. Here is the veto ceremony. It just seems a lot. And where are we gaining this time back? And if we're not, then I feel like we're not getting a comprehensive story of what's even how mediocre they do it. Ooh, I did flash. How many
You did.
how mediocre they have been in terms of the presenting the feed narrative to the show. I don't think they're going to be able to do it justice with all that time being lost.
Yeah, I would say that I agree with you that I'm not satisfied with this episode for the reason that we didn't get the nominations. I just feel like, for a Monday night in a Big Brother week, this is kind of a bit of an odd feeling. We won't know, I guess, until Wednesday on who was even nominated. So we're gonna get the nominations and the veto on Wednesday, and then we'll have an eviction Thursday, and then we'll be down to our final four. And then next week we evict somebody else, and then we're to our final three, and then we'll have our part 3 HOH, right? So it's
I just feel like they're gonna do me dirty, and somewhere down the line they're gonna have a recap episode just to smite me, just to make me angry. Like they're gonna show like it's gonna be part 1 of the HOH for like 5 minutes, and then the rest of the episode is gonna be here's what you didn't see LaToya do with Jed, and like stuff like that. I don't care about that point. Like,
we need to see what LaToya did with Jed on day 5 back in the house.
People are like, remember Julie? And they're like, what?
Who?
Here's what happened with second person voted out. Eric, not Eric. Right, not Ryan. What was his name? Second person voted out. Kind of sus.
Josh.
Here's what Josh did to get everyone angry, and they finally decide to show us what happened, where it kind of freaked out in the first week that we never ever got to really see. That people kept on using as
no, I don't need that. That's okay.
I just feel like that's the type of thing that they're gonna show us, and it's completely irrelevant. If this was like weeks ago when we were actually questioning ourselves, hey, what happened? Show us then. But now it's like just delaying. I feel like they're just gonna be delaying us. Once again, we are behind. We are behind.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out when the next evictions are going to be. So we have somebody going out day 63 and on day 70. So somebody goes out this week.
Final 4.
Okay. And then a week later somebody goes out, and then we have the finale.
Yep.
Okay, so there's only so many days left.
Yep.
There's only so much time left. Where was I going with this? Yeah, like I don't know. Like it's gonna be weird for me to see this Wednesday episode be both, like these nominations and this veto, and then
bump it a half an hour. Get us our time back.
Yeah, because I feel like because they had to spend so much time tonight telling us about, okay, this is what was going on during the double, right? And but it wasn't a real double. You spent so much time telling me how it wasn't a real double, but then you're showing me all this drama that was going on, but it doesn't count, well, yes, of course it counts, but it's just kind of bizarre in the way, how the production is kind of affecting the game when it doesn't really need to.
I agree.
And
so far I have not seen all this drama that they didn't want to show when the feeds are off. I have yet to see it.
No. Like I'm actively rooting against Beth at this point. Beyond that, I don't really care. Like anybody could win this game right now. I'm, Braden, I think would make an interesting winner. I think Kiefer is an interesting winner. I think that Tashawn's an interesting winner, and this who am I forgetting? Oh, Tara as well. I think Tara is an unlikely winner too at this point. A real underdog story. Yeah. So Beth is like sort of this really like, I sure hope not. I sure hope she doesn't win at this point.
I agree.
Or even second place. I don't even want her to get second place.
You don't want her. It's like, oh, I could have won it. I could have won it if the judges weren't Some kind of statement like that. Nope. Do not
No,
like.
because I want the best of like this season. I think Braden winning these last couple competitions in the same way that Tara did a couple weeks ago and sort of changed the course of their game has been interesting, right, to see, because they kind of come out of nowhere. They kind of pull ahead in the race at an unlikely time, and so and Braden, who's been largely criticized as a floater, somebody who hasn't won anything, hasn't come close. Has suddenly gained this pivotal amount of power at a crucial time in this game, and seeing what he does with it, he's going to be easy to break out. And so I do have the nominations, so we can get into spoilers if we would like here, because I think we've covered everything in the episode. So let's get into it. If you're leaving us here, just to plug all our other shows, here we'll be here Wednesday night to talk about the nominations and the veto, and of course on Thursday for the eviction. Also here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, we're going to be covering Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the first season, very soon. I don't
It's
know
the week after, because the making of is this week.
Yeah, we're gonna do it we're gonna do it the week after next, right? So so in 2 Fridays from now, we got to get that on the books, and we've done WandaVision already. We did The Serpent from Netflix on Friday with me and Mott and Jeff. And then, that's in the same series we did the Tiger King Once Upon a Time. It's so, there's a Netflix series we want to talk about, we will throw it in there. Plus our other channel, Live Long and Podcast, where we talk about Star Trek 3 times a week. Tuesdays, we do Deep Space Nine rewatches. We're going to do Past Tense tomorrow night for Deep Space Nine, the 2-parter with Gabriel Bell. On Wednesdays, we do original series rewatches with my dad. We're doing Friday's Child with Julie Newmar, one of the original Catwoman from Batman, on Wednesday. And then on the weekends, we do Star Trek Radio Theater, although I haven't scheduled for this next one because I may need a break, honestly.
Remember what I said to you offline. Don't burn yourself out. Like, if people don't know, this man over here, I'll make sure I'm pointing in the right direction, works hard as hell, right? And
I got nothing else going on. I'm in a pandemic.
Yeah, you say that. Still, you know what? It's okay if you give yourself a week off. Like, there is a massive, like, you're on a hot streak in terms of like episodes, so people have those to enjoy. I vote for let Dave recuperate, and he'll hit another banger out of the park in 2 weeks' time. That's just me. Me.
Well, thank you, Jaemeel. That's very kind of you. I will. I think I'm going to take that under advisement. Jane was also signing off on this because I just finished the edit for Our Man Bashir, which was the radio theater you starred in as Bashir. That just went up tonight on our audio feed on Spotify and things like that. You can listen to Our Man Bashir. We will also be doing the one we just did with Steve Shives and Chris Seymour. On Saturday night, we did Samaritan Snare from Next Generation's second season.
Shives and Seymour were at the top of their game. Seymour was born for this role.
Yes. It was really. I was like trying not to laugh the whole time. I can't wait to edit that one. So that's what I'm looking forward to next. I'm getting that like a more polished version of that read. And our other channels, Trivial Debates, where we talk about movies, TV, sports. We argue about that. It's kind of game show format. We just did one on Sunday. My son hosted, Eamon Mader. My mother hosted, or was a contestant, sorry. And then we had Adam Woodward and Jody Simpson all competing. It was quite the affair. Check that out on our other channel, Trivial Debates. And let's get into the spoilers, as we're going to be talking about who the nominations are. Let's get the spoilers warning up, and let's get the Ruafu playing. Okay, Jaemeel.
So, all right. This isn't confirmed because feeds, when I switched after the episode, went to feeds and feeds were on. So right now with the feeds, you have both Beth and Kiefer, who are sitting in the backyard, and it looks like right now they have a challenge that's going on. A challenge where both of them have to stay in the backyard, and they have to watch a fence to see how many gophers pop their head up out of the fence. And it seems that the other housemates are trying to distract them, get their numbers wrong. So Before we went on air, I think we were at about 80 gophers. 80 gophers have popped up, and it's like a mechanical. Oh, another one just went up. Another one. Oh. A whole bunch. Like 4 went up. Right? It pops up on the fence, and they have to catch it. They have to be watching it. And then the other housemates are trying to confuse them. Like Jed and Tara were doing planking in front of them. So they were counting down from like 200. So Tara and Keith are like 79, 79, 79, 79, right? And the other people are trying to play pranks on them, trying to distract them, block them. I think it might be Winna Weber barbecue. Regardless,
Okay.
that's not
okay.
that's not what you want to know. That's not what you want to know.
I know. Not exactly. I'm looking for nominees. Do you have nominees?
So, supposedly, it's implied that both Kiefer and Beth are on the block.
Kiefer and Beth are on the block. Okay.
Yes.
And that would leave Tara and Deshaun off, but that means that the veto has not happened yet.
Correct. That is the vibe I'm getting.
Oh, well. I may have another spoiler here, though.
Kiefer also was thinking about self-evicting.
I might have a veto winner.
Oh, well.
This may not be corroborated, but the report I have here is that Tara is the veto holder.
Ooh, Tara's going to keep the nominations the same.
I would imagine. Unless she wants to the only reason to use it would be so that Tashawn could go up.
Yeah, but why?
But why?
Yeah.
So take Kiefer down or take Beth down, but I don't think Tara's going to do that.
Yeah. I think she'd rather, and if you have these two, you got to take out Kiefer. As much as I want Kiefer to win, you got to take out Kiefer.
I would take a Beth.
Really?
Yeah.
For Final Four, you would keep Beth.
No.
You would keep Beth to compete.
Well, I guess I'd keep Beth over Kiefer at this point. You're right. It's Kiefer is just too threatening of a player.
He's one too many, and I'd rather trust that I can win one out of the 2 competitions in Final Four against Beth versus Kiefer. Because if I don't win, then what? Veto holder chooses. It's veto holder for Final Four.
Yes.
Yeah. Veto holder chooses for Final Four. So I'd rather win the veto. I'd rather win the veto and be able to choose who gets eliminated than. And I think
This is Final Five. We're at Final Five right now.
Yes, but like, let's say they vote out Kiefer. That means you practically either have to beat Kiefer twice, or hope that whoever wins veto chooses not to eliminate you.
True.
And I rather take my chances. I rather take my chances against Beth than I would with Kiefer.
So this will be Tashawn and Tara voting. My 2 picks. My 2 draft picks will pick who will go into the Final Four with them.
Yeah.
I guess getting rid of Kiefer is the move.
But if you are, let's say, Tara, and you had full disclosure of what happened, then you would know that Kiefer didn't want to vote you out. He just went ahead with Ty's plan.
Right. Okay. So let's
Beth
say you
has
can
been
get
scheming. Beth has been scheming from the drop.
right.
So, okay, who's going to take you? Who's going to take you? Is the other question.
What if Tara and Tashawn are split? Let's say like Tashawn wants to keep Beth in the house, but Tara wants to keep Kiefer in the house. Right.
Such a good question.
And then it would come down to the tiebreaker would be Braden as HOH.
Yes.
Right. So what would he do?
You'd have to if Braden trusts himself, then I would say vote out Beth and keep Kiefer, right? Because I think Beth and you have played too similar of a game in terms of like comp wins and such. I don't know. Everyone loves Kiefer so much, and Tara spilt the beans about Kiefer. I don't know.
It makes this week very interesting, I think, because I think that now with these nominations, this particular veto holder, I think that this is going to be a really interesting Final Four. You know, maybe the least interesting part of it could be Beth. But you gotta cut Beth at some point? Like, why do you want to drag Beth to Final Two with you? Really? Like, whoever you are.
But people were giving Beth credit for the last move to vote out Jed, and she like Tara's basically putting the work to say that it wasn't her, it was Kiefer. So what does Tara really have on her resume?
Well, Tara,
she has an HOH win, and she has what, a veto? Or
yeah, and she's got this buyback, and now she has another veto, so she has 2 vetoes.
I survive.
I don't know. Maybe it's my personal bias with wanting Kiefer to get to the end, but unless it's an endurance, which they have not done, and it'll be kind of dirty if they do it at Final Four, right?
Well, do you really think Kiefer's going to win an endurance competition?
No, like that's what I'm switching back. I'm like, you get rid of Kiefer, and then, or unless it's an endurance competition, you could beat Kiefer. I don't know. My gosh. Beth is unlikable. Get rid of Beth. I don't care. At that point,
right.
I like, because, or you want to get rid of Kiefer because he seems closer to Brayden and Ty. And I think Beth is always going to have Braid's like toxic bridesmaid aura around her, because who's she going to hook up with Ty? If she gets farther with Ty, the jury's going to look like, it's like once Jed was gone, you hooked your claws into Ty and you rode him closer to the end. Right? And I don't think they're going to respect her. So
no,
that
I don't think they're going to respect. I think Beth lost a lot of credibility when she went on the whole, Brayden, why don't you volunteer to be on the block so Jedson doesn't have to?
You think me, is going to volunteer to go on the block? I'm gooped. I cannot believe it. My jaw is on the floor. Why don't you go on the block, Beth?
Help yourself. Help yourself to the seat, Beth.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get, like, Beth isn't a threat, I feel, as much as Kiefer, but also you need to get her out for appearance's sake too.
Yeah, I think just Beth, you have to cut her at some point, because I just don't think, like, even if you take her to Final Two with you, everyone's gonna be like, well, you took Beth to Final. I guess I have to give you the money, but I just feel like you'll win, but you might not feel good about it if that matters to you, you know. So it'd be interesting to see. And Brayden would have been an interesting goat, or like someone to bring to you to the end with you, but then now he's won an HOH. He's starting to win things, and he's doing some clutch moments here. And so people might second guess, well, why not throw a vote or two at Brayden potentially? You know, it'd be interesting to see if we could get like an interesting split vote, or if it would be a unanimous jury vote, regardless.
True.
Only 2 weeks left, Jaemeel. We're almost done.
Yeah. You know what? And finally, I feel even more invested in this week, and I feel like I'm going to get shortchanged. Going back again, I feel like I'm getting shortchanged on an important week, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, but we're playing catch up here, you know. But thankfully, some good people did some research here and told us maybe what the hell's going on, if we can trust it. Okay, let's come off spoilers. Let's come off for tonight. Thank you for joining us, everybody, and listening to us rant about this this Monday night buyback and HOH no nominations episode. We'll be back Wednesday night, as mentioned, for everything else, and check out our other content. But until then, we're everyone have a great night. And hey, time out, and here we go.